Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel that you've never heard of. I am your host with the most, DOZ101, and with me is my special guest today, Santa Claus, and we are discussing the misused mid-carders in wrestling. A bunch of missed opportunities for mid-carders to make it to the main event scene and rise above in WWE and elsewhere, I'm sure. Santa, how are you today, sir?
Hi. Merry Christmas, my friend. I am very good. I'm very excited to talk about this particular subject. I used to be an avid wrestling fan, and it's scenarios and people like this that kind of made me wane off the business because these people never got the justice they deserved. And after a long time of watching this business and giving it my hopes and prayers, my thoughts and dreams, I started realizing that this show's not for me. It's for one man and one man only, and that man is Vince McMahon. So yes,
It's good that
um,
you bring him up because I have a very important segment I'd like to cover. This day in
please.
wrestling history. 3 years ago today, the McMahons came out after their lowest rating Raw at the time and said, "We're going to give you, the audience, what you want to see." Yes, they actually said that. And they proceeded to put the blame on Baron Corbin and others for mismanagement and storyline fuck ups and all that kind of shit. And now look where we are in 2021. Raw can't even average 2 million viewers here in the States.
That actually, I'm glad you brought that up because those are some of those things that made me say, fuck you, WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really think the fans are stupid, you know, by
Mm-hmm.
doing this arc and blaming Corbin when there's only you guys. You guys are the real problem, and you're fucking making it into Corbin and trying to make yourself come out like the good guys. Fuck you. It's stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that made me roll my eyes and just wanted to turn my back on this product. It
Yep.
really insulting my intelligence. I hated it. Hey, we have Burrito. Burrito's here. Shelton
Shelton
Benjamin is
Benjamin
not
is on the
coming.
top. Okay, yeah, you want to start with Shelton Benjamin? We can start with Shelton Benjamin. Total
Well,
missed opportunity in
well,
WWE.
I just want to quickly mention this guy here.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy I mentioned to join us. We will try to be here in an hour, my friend. But try and come as early as you can, please. It'll be very much appreciated.
Yep, we'll see what we can do. No promises.
Yes,
We don't know if we'll be on in an hour, but we'll see where we
yeah.
are in an hour. Okay, Shelton Benjamin. Yes, total missed opportunity. How do you go from the world's greatest tag team with Charlie Haas and having a great tag team and a great stable in Team Angle to beating Triple H 3 times on Monday Night Raw? I think once by pin, once by DQ, and once by countout, and then shuffling and floundering in the mid card with the Intercontinental title and never truly reaching the main event scene. I don't know how you fuck up a talent like Shelton Benjamin.
Well, I knew it was the end for Benjamin when they brought on his big fat mama.
Oh yeah,
Because, and then I thought to myself, okay, that's it. He's done. Benjamin is done. There's no coming back from this. Big fat mummy?
but
No, they're burying him.
I am gonna clarify though that the mama gimmick I kind of liked it at first, but WWE has that tendency, like how they overdo things. Like it's like okay, we get it, we see it. It's like the Subway commercial. I lost weight from eating Subway. How many times can you repeat that in different ways? It's like the mama gimmick was cool, but after a while, it flustered. And Shelton Benjamin, I'm trying to think. Yeah, the best opportunity to have the first African American WWE champ fuck Vince and his racist ass. Yeah, that's another thing. Vince does not like black wrestlers. Um, for example, like when Booker T got brought up in the main event scene, and then Triple H buried him because he's black and he was a WCW guy, and people like you don't get to be world champion.
No,
Blah
Triple
blah
H
blah blah
didn't
blah.
just bury him. And I say this with the utmost respect regarding the scenario. Triple H fucking lynched him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he fucking did. There's burying and there's lynching. And what fucking Triple H did was a fucking disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, these are just many, many layers of what put me off and probably put people like Chito off the business. Because, there's only so much a man can take.
Mm-hmm.
And those are one of the many, many things we took. We took it like a fucking an abused housewife.
Yeah, it's like, okay, WWE, I equate it to that hot ass ex girlfriend. You've been there. I've been there. That hot ass ex girlfriend that you had like when you were younger. She was smoking hot, and then she cheated
Out
on
of my
you.
league hot,
Yeah, like out of our league hot.
Yes,
Like
and I had that.
she's smoking hot, and then she cheats on you, and then you guys like break it off, and then she keeps calling you, and then you're like, I don't know, should I take her back? So you give it another try, only to lead to more disappointment. And then eventually you wake up one day and you realize this shit's not worth it anymore. And you move on. And that's exactly what happened to us. And with Shelton Benjamin, he was one of those dudes. He was athletic. He was freaking great at what he did. His greatest match, and I stand by it, is forever going to be the one against Shawn Michaels on that Raw of
Mm.
2005 when he took that super kick. That super kick is one of the greatest super kicks I have ever seen anyone take. The way Shelton sold that, he sold his ass off. And he's one that didn't get his due. Yeah, Booker T, another one. World title material relegated to upper mid Carter at best. Although, to be fair, he did make it with the King Booker gimmick.
Yes.
I will give Booker T a little bit of like a he made it. Like he did make the King gimmick his own and he made it work. So I don't know if we can put Booker T on this list. Maybe, maybe not. It's purely subjective. Got it shot from time to time, but never got pushed. Yeah. Well, the King Booker gimmick did work. Okay, who else is on your list?
Okay, on my list, I'm going to go with William Regal. Now, this because this is the man who had Triple H in his fucking shadow back in WCW days with the Blue Blood gimmick and stuff like that and the tag team. He actually had a really good match, I remember, with Rob Van Dam at WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
which was really surprising. He's kind of very awkward in his movements and stuff, but the guy can talk. He's a very credible bad guy, and I think he would have been a really good top heel if they just believed in him.
Mm-hmm. Remember when
And
he was the Raw general manager? That shit was fucking great. When he was
yeah,
like the psychopathic Raw GM, that was gold. How the fuck do you? Oh,
no, my the thing with Regal though is that he was sometimes his own worst enemy because of the drugs.
mm-hmm.
Because he failed the wellness policy on several occasions. I think on one occasion, because he failed it, they kind of belittled him on Raw
Yeah, they
and called
buried
him,
him. Yep.
yeah, as manager at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, yeah, definitely for me, Regan. It's a shame now because his prime is gone now. The guy is, I think he's like developmental now, isn't he?
NXT general manager, which is basically
Oh,
but at least the one good thing I can say about NXT for now is that the general manager position actually means something. Okay, your list is Billy Gunn, Bob Holly, Mankind at First, Mr. Perfect, and Randy Savage. I would probably
Randy
take
Savage is
Randy
at the
off your
top.
list. Yeah.
Randy's at the top, man. Randy Savage made it.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Mr. Perfect. I mean, Randy Savage was always in the shadow of Hulk Hogan, but everybody was in the fucking shadow of Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Like his shadow reigns supreme. But Mr. Randy Savage, like he's cult status.
Mm-hmm.
But Mr. Perfect definitely.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect is definitely in the top of my list. Like he's at the yep. Thanks, Cheeto, for stopping by. All right, so yeah, Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect is among I want to say I think for both of us the elite two or three guys to never win the world title. Never ever
Yeah.
win the WWE WWF title. Um on my list, number one, first and foremost, has got to be Owen Hart. Purely
Well,
Owen Hart.
my issue with that was that it we never got a chance to know if he ever could have made it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. That's the consider that I think Owen Hart could have made it, but we'll never know,
No,
unfortunately.
no. But I would even go so far as to say Owen is in the top elite mid-carders of all time. Like, if you
He
go
got
back and watch his work, it's fantastic.
he got a good match as of Ultimate Warrior. Who the fuck does that?
That's an achievement.
Yeah,
That's an
yeah.
achievement. But
Also
okay,
my list. Also my list.
go ahead.
By the way, I just want to go a bit more about Mr. Perfect. Like before I go on to the next person. Personally, like the guy is a phenomenal wrestler. He can talk the talk. He can walk the walk. A fantastic heel, Mr. Perfect. Don't just make it a bloody gimmick. Make it a reality. You know. I
Mm-hmm.
loved his fucking perfect plex. What a ingenious finishing move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make it a reality. Make him unbeatable. He could have been a Triple H of his era.
Oh
And
yeah.
talking of somebody who could be very similar to that is Ted DiBiase. Ted
Yes.
DiBiase is a
Yes.
fantastic technical wrestler, and it's funny, but he's always flirting with that main event scene. And he did have the WWE title, but it was given to him by Under the Giant, and there was real credibility there, but they never cemented it. And another opportunity lost just to fucking keep Hulk Hogan at the goddamn top.
And I know I might be in the minority, but I consider Ted DiBiase a WWF champion. God damn it. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. For me, that it's not really relevant. What's relevant is what sort of like the fact that he never got a
A
title
proper
reign.
run. Yeah, he never got a proper
Yeah,
run with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe winning the belt once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
All of these sort of things. Imagine if he beat Hogan. Oh my god, that would have been so good. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like you want to have credible bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. You want a very credible bad guy, but if they constantly get beaten all the time by fucking that blonde motherfucker, yeah, then how the hell are we ever going to have credible bad guys?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like everyone is just there to be put on a platter for Hogan to leg drop and fucking pin.
Yep.
It's very disappointing.
Another another one
Sorry,
on. I'm not saying Randy was a mid Carter, but he never got the title. Actually, yeah, he did. He got it.
he
He
did.
won
He
the he
got it
won the title. He won it at
WrestleMania
WrestleMania
4.
4. Yeah, he got it. He had his moment. Granted, it all went back to that doesn't work for me, brother. Because it had to be the Hulk Hogan show. But okay, on my list,
And SummerSlam, by the way, I remember that too against Ultimate Warrior. He
mhm,
was a title holder for that as well. So
yep,
he was Macho King and all of that. Top guy, arguably in the first 10 years of WrestleMania, his match against the Steamboat. Like all of these things pinnacle him. Anyway, sorry for going on
okay.
too much.
They treated him like a mid Carter, Randy. That is why they wouldn't give him the belt. Like we just said, they
Yeah,
gave him the
he wanted
title.
to. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it's all right, man. It happens to all of us. We all forget
hmm
from time to time. But okay, staying on mid Carters, Jake the Snake Roberts is another one. But with given his past, I now can understand why they never gave it to Jake the Snake. But he's one of those dudes that could have totally make it work as like a psycho heel with the snakes and with breaking down psychology and him turning on the Ultimate Warrior in 1991 was great stuff. I would have liked to have seen Jake the Snake turn on Hulk Hogan and beat Hulk Hogan for the belt. But we all know once again that doesn't work for me, brother. Jake the Snake is on my list of
Well,
guys that
you're
never
talking
got
about
his
him
due.
being a heel.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Jake the Snake was so popular as a face.
Mm-hmm.
He got massive pops all the time. I remember his blindfold match with Rick Martel,
Yep.
but he got blinded and shit by the perfume and all of that. Oh man, like I think even though he had that little hero on it, I think they just done it to freshen him up. I think it was the end of him with that hero on
Mm-hmm.
against Macho Man, and the bloody Cobra and shit. But I sometimes feel that even though he had those drug issues, everybody was fucking on drugs then. And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel that maybe it was just that he just seems to be one of those guys who's always unlucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's one of Wrestling Lowdown's own personals, Razor Ramon.
Yeah, I would say I would go with the Razor Ramon character and not Scott Hall. Razor was white fucking hot when he came into the WWF in the early 90s. But I think what it was Razor was one of those dudes that I don't think could really overall be trusted with the belt. Either that or Vince never quite saw him get past that upper mid card IC
He
status.
was he was a bit flat-footed, wasn't he?
I think
You
so.
know, a little bit flat-footed. You know, he looked a bit. I don't know. Like it's hard to find a word for it, but his ladder matches with Shawn Michaels were great, and they were revolutionary at the time. I
Hmm.
remember like Michaels, or I don't know if it was Scott Hall or Michaels were talking about, or maybe both. That at that time they only had one fucking ladder. You
Yep,
know,
and you couldn't
and they had to
damage it. If
work.
you damage it, that's the end of the match. Yeah, if you fuck up
Yeah.
that ladder, that's it. But okay, wrestling lowdown. You also said Bob Holly's on your list. Yeah, Bob is one of those dudes that I don't think really ever got his due. Like it was something about him that it seemed like it never fit with
Yeah.
Bob.
I think I think Vince was worried that maybe the crowd wouldn't take to him because he's a bit of he's a bit of that misery gut, that Bill DeMont type of misery guts, and it's a shame really because I always had a fondness for him. I remember him
Hmm.
as Sparkplug, and obviously he's got one of my favorite finishes. I love that Alabama Slam. I love it. It
Hmm.
looks quite devastating at times. Like you just fucking just throw the guy on the fucking floor like that. I loved it.
Yep.
But unfortunately, he was just cannon fodder for Brock Lesnar, nothing more. And you could see that even when he's come back for his revenge fight, even though Brock botched his fucking neck and almost crippled him,
Hmm.
instead of getting the revenge that he deserved, he ended up being Brock's bitch again.
And I think you also said Billy Gunn is on that list. I can tell you why Billy Gunn didn't make it. Billy Gunn didn't make it because he had a serious drug problem. As good as he was, he couldn't be relied upon.
And I think maybe the fans just didn't take to him as much as the WWE hoped for. Like they made him king of the ring,
Hmm.
and it didn't work out for him as much as he was always a good supporting act.
Yeah, he
Like
was always a good mechanic in
yeah,
the ring, and he could talk on the mic, but he was never going to get past that certain level. Plus, I think that
uh,
was around the time that he and Triple H started not to like each other. Hello, Ty.
hi, 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 hi. It's Ty.
Yep.
Nice to see you again, my friend.
Yep. All right, Xantha, next on your list.
Okay, let me pick, but I'm not going. But I'm just picking who I think is
Yeah, if
perfect.
you're
So
not
let me.
going, you don't have to go by order.
Okay, so let me think. Ken Shamrock.
Hmm.
We'll go back a bit now during the Attitude Era. I love this guy. I really did. Like Ken Shamrock was fucking nuts. He can wrestle. He had a good physique.
Hmm.
He deserved more. He was all into the MMA style and stuff like that, which is probably why he jumped ship immediately to the to UFC and stuff like that. But Kevin Shamrock was the fucking man.
Hmm.
Him and Frank as well. Um, I just wanted a bit more out of him. If he became a top tier guy, you know, um, then his jump to UFC, he could have come back again like boy Brock Lesnar did and Bobby Lashley did and Batista did. It would have, even Jack Swagger did, not maybe to the WWE, but back to wrestling.
I could tell
It would have
you,
been,
I
yeah.
could tell you the name that stood in the way of Shamrock's push. Triple H
Well,
was
every
one.
Triple H is the Hulk Hogan of that era,
Hmm.
the heel version.
Or if you
He
really want to be technical about it, Shawn and Triple H both halted Shamrock's push. I don't know what it
yes.
was about. I don't know why they didn't like him, but they were like, yeah, no, they went to Vince and were like, yeah, this dude ain't it. And I'm like, I don't know. Shamrock, he was actually a badass. Like, Shamrock is one of those dudes that was credible as a badass
Yeah.
that could fight, that could snap, that could scrap with people.
The Kurt
And,
Angle of the Attitude Era.
mm-hmm,
He really was. He really was, and he never got the credibility that he deserved. And it's kind of a flash in the pan
mm-hmm,
because he really was just mainly an Attitude Era wrestler. He was just there for that period, and
mm-hmm,
the Attitude Era was a short period, and his time in WWE was short. But for me, it was very memorable,
mm-hmm.
and it's a shame Shamrock never got his dues.
No,
So, how about you, my friend?
I would say Wade Barrett in more recent times is one of those dudes that never really got his due. Yes, I know he got a few main event programs with Cena and Orton, but they're John Cena and Randy Orton. You really think those two are going to step out of the way for a young up and coming dude? Nah. That wasn't happening. As talented as he was, the powers that be weren't going to let Wade Barrett get over. Ken
Yeah,
Shamrock was on the wrong era in the 90s. If Ken was to start wrestling this year, he would be a huge star because of the UFC era nowadays. Yep. He came
I
in a little
agree.
too late. Yeah.
I agree. But I'm surprised they never brought him back in any capacity.
Mm-mm.
Even like in the late 2000 and noughties or the early 2010s, they could have brought him back, but they
Mm-hmm.
never did. Obviously, he's way past his prime now. No need to bring him back. But yeah,
Yep.
so
But yeah, Wade Barrett is on my list. I mean,
I
granted,
got
he.
some bad news for you, Wade Barrett. You're never going to be WWE champion.
Nope.
And I like Barrett. You can see he was credible. He was a leader, a talker. He was. I think maybe physically, like if he could have done what maybe Drew McIntyre done and changed his physique to that, which we see McIntyre now. My God, he's chiseled like he's from stone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I think physically, if he changed his physique and looked more muscular, I think maybe Barrett would have gotten his title shot because Vince McMahon loves those fucking pectorials. He really does.
Mm-hmm. He loves the
So
big dudes. Okay,
he
and then
loves the muscular big dudes. Yeah.
yep. Okay, and then going next on your list.
Okay. Now, this guy, he likes to spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool, and that's
Ah,
Mr.
that was another one.
Carlito. Da, 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 da,
How the hell do you go? How the hell do you go from beating John Cena in your opening match for the U.S. title to just floundering? I don't
Well,
understand that.
John Cena back then was a mid-carder.
Mm-hmm.
He was just U.S. title, this guy. But once he vacated that title, it was on for bigger and better things for Cena.
Mm-hmm.
But also back then, if you're one of those guys who was doing VideoCon ad commercials before you arrived, you'd always end up getting the victory in your first match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm glad, like personally, like they would have to change the gimmick because you only spit an apple in so many people's faces before it just becomes sick, then clever. But I think it's to do with him just n- not caring about the industry too much, and his brother and his cousin, they uh they tried to stay in the business a little bit longer than he did. They were a
Mm-hmm.
tech team, weren't they? The luchadors or some shit like that.
Yep.
Uh but yeah, see, I think sometimes it's not necessarily that sometimes the WWE don't push you, and sometimes you don't give yourself an opportunity to get pushed. And Carlito was like, "Oh, okay." William says this. Carlito never liked Triple H, and he did Triple H because of backstage politics.
Oh yeah, you're going
Yeah.
to see Triple H's name come up a lot when it comes to these mid carders because the next one I'm about to bring up definitely was a Triple H and maybe even Randy Orton move. But yeah, with
Yeah.
Carlito, he's one of those dudes that he just floundered like he was a nothing on Raw. He got relegated. I knew it was over for Carlito when they brought back Floyd Mayweather for one night on Raw, and Vince McMahon decked Carlito, and that's when I knew it was over for
Yes.
Carlito. And the next one on my list, Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy.
Ken
Yep.
Kennedy himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like he was up at the fucking moon, this
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
was given the opportunity, but th- there was a couple of things. Like was it the fact that he fell out with people, or that he was it drugs? I can't remember, or both. Even I'm not sure.
I want to say it's a combination. I want to say he got hurt, drugs, and I know he had a falling out, which ultimately led to his firing in WWE.
Oh,
He
if
botched
I could,
a.
could
Go
I
ahead.
intervene?
Yeah.
I remember he was talking on a shoot interview about how he was at a WrestleMania event. I know, before the WrestleMania they have that meet the fans can meet the wrestlers
Yeah,
the
the
day
access or
before.
whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then he was asked a question and he was talking about a few things. And then while he was talking, he mentioned John Cena's name. And then just after passing, not like for any other reason, but
Mm-hmm.
people started booing, and then he realized, oh, that's getting a reaction, so he then mentioned his name, Ken Kennedy. People went, yeah, John Cena, boo. Ken Kennedy, yeah, John Cena, boo. And he just played with it for a little bit. He said it was very innocent. But then backstage heard about it, and you know how Vince was, he hated people booing on John Cena. And so he got punished for that, apparently.
Yeah,
You know,
telephone, tell a friend, tell a wrestler. And that's
all
exactly
the,
what, yeah. But ultimately,
yeah,
what led to his firing was, I want to say he botched like a backdrop or something on Randy Orton. And
yeah.
Randy Orton was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to work with this motherfucker. He's got to go. And Ken Kennedy has not been in the WWE ever since. Yeah, Randy Orton fought
Allegedly.
Ken Kennedy backstage.
Well, Paul
Yeah.
London, he smiled, and that got him buried. So,
Oh, yeah. You
uh,
smile at Vince directly. Yeah, you're done. You're done.
yeah. But honestly, like as much as with high flyers, I've always wanted them to get far in the company, but very rarely do they ever do in a business like the WWE. One or two might slip through, like somebody like, for instance, like Shawn Michaels. He was a high flyer with the Rockers, but he
Hmm.
became more technical when he was a singles wrestler. Yes, he would do the odd elbow drop and stuff like that, but he wasn't doing, fucking moonsaults and shit, was
Yeah,
he?
he wasn't doing
Yeah,
moonsaults and drop kicks and axe handles, not
he
all
might
that shit.
he did one or two for WrestleMania and shit like that, but it really wasn't, his part of his moves list and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I think we're gonna go into my guy now. Now, this
Yep.
is the thing. My guy is my favorite wrestler. I do feel like he's reached the pinnacle in the sense that he's legendary and he always has a place in the business, and people think of him as a top guy. But I don't think even though he won the Royal Rumble and
I know
all of that,
exactly who you're going to bring up. I know
uh,
exactly where you're going, but continue.
Ray Mysterio,
Yep.
you know.
Ray
Now
is Ray Ray is criminally misused.
he, he got buried as champion. He got people beating the fuck out of him as champion. And when he won the WWE title, he lost it to Cena in the same fucking night.
Hmm.
And I knew the shenanigans was there because of that. Even someone like Triple H didn't want to fight him. The only time Triple H fought him was at Royal Rumble when they were in
Yep.
the when they came in as number 1 and 2, and that was
Hmm.
fantastic. The back and forth, it was absolutely fantastic. You know, I I get really disappointed with the McMahon way of thinking. Like, stop calling him the ultimate fucking underdog. Yeah, the guy wins fucking matches. He beat people like fucking Batista and an Undertaker. Like fucking give him his fucking dues.
Hmm.
Stop calling. I hate this stuff because he's small and shit. And all the time you're making small jokes and stuff like that. It's like, come on. The WWE has no fucking,
I knew it
you
was
know,
over the day that they put him in there with Great Khali. I'm like, that's it. It's over. Yep. The day they put him in
yeah.
there with Great Khali on SmackDown, I knew Rey Mysterio was done. I knew it was over.
They made him fucking quit in the I Quit match against fucking Chavo Guerrero.
And you want to know
Yeah.
the thing too? Speaking of that match, that was the last match where Ray really looked and felt like Rey Mysterio. He never was the same after that.
I
Ever
know,
since
I know. Yeah, he had these
when,
knee problems.
yep,
I
when
always knew
Chavo
that.
fucked up his leg or when Ray landed weird on that fucking scaffold thing, that was it. Ray never was the same after that. He never came back the same guy.
The
Yeah.
guy, for me, uh, what I like about him is that he doesn't have shit matches.
Hmm.
Honestly, like there's very rarely do I watch a Rey Mysterio match. I think this ain't good. All his matches are fucking good. Very enjoyable, and the guy is hardcore as well.
Hmm.
He can guys ECW. He can do all that crazy shit. Some memorable matches as well. Who would ever forget the fucking contract match with Eddie Guerrero?
Yep.
For his son Dominic. And yeah,
Speaking
look at
of,
Dominic now. Yeah.
yep. Speaking of, the greatest match in WCW history, arguably Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc '97. Quite possibly one of, if not the best
That's
matches
when
in
he.
that company's
That's when he was
history.
looking like the Phantom. I remember that
Yep.
when he fucking
Yep.
purple suit. And yeah, he's so good. And over time he got better on the mic as well. And he's such a likable guy. And you talk about selling shirts and stuff, and having somebody who's popular with the kids. He's second to John Cena in that department,
Mm-hmm.
and he never got the push that he deserved. It just, you know, it was infuriating,
Mm-hmm.
infuriating. Like this guy is a proper asset, but Vince couldn't look past the fucking fact that he was like 5'2".
Yep.
You know,
Here's one that is
hello
screams
Jaggy.
hello. Here's one that screams demotion. You go from the WWF all the way to WCW, and the one that I'm about to bring up, people may be divided on, but that one is Bret the Hitman Hart. They have him get fucked in Montreal and then go to WCW. And how do you debut him? You debut him as a referee. And then they had him do nothing for about 9 months. And it was like, what the fuck? And granted, yes, I know he won the world title about a year later, but then he got hurt and he got concussed and he was forced to retire. And you could see it within Bret Hart when he got to WCW that his spirit was unbelievably broken and that, he lost Owen and other shit happened, but you could see it within Bret that he was there just for the money. And talk about a fall from grace. That's what I think when I think of the
Yeah,
Hitman's later years.
I actually agree. Like Hitman in WWE top tier,
Mm-hmm.
Hitman in WCW mid card for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
poorly used, and also Hulk Hogan, doesn't being there does it means that you're not going to get very far. He was in the shadow of Hogan in the WWE by fucking basically giving him the title via bloody Yokozuna,
Mm-hmm.
and he was never going to be top tier guy whilst he was in WCW. Did he ever fight Hulk Hogan?
They had one match on Nitro that ended in a schmoz.
I need to see that.
Yeah, I'll link it to you when we're done,
Yeah,
if I can find it. Yeah, Goldberg injured Bret Hart. Yeah, that kick should have never happened. And Bret Hart even told him, "Don't hurt me, dude. Like, don't hurt me." Are we doing
because
female wrestlers? Yes. If you want to wait until you come on for that, we can do that. If
yeah,
we're
because
still
for
here.
me, like there are a lot of female wrestlers I do know.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll bring up one right now. What's the name of the girl who had that shit on the side of her face?
Jillian Hall.
She's
Yep.
fucking fantastic. She's a fucking fantastic wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who purposely got big fucking tits to make herself look more like a fucking Barbie doll for the WWE audience and for Vince McMahon, because she was more of a slim athlete
Mm-hmm.
physically, but she needed a Barbie doll to fund her up. But she's very, very talented, a very talented wrestler, and
Mm-hmm.
she was always, they gave her that sort of like not Bruna, sorry, Brittany Spears sort of, strangling cat voice singing gimmick,
Yep.
and they just made her into a joke character, you
Uh,
know. But
yep.
yeah,
I've got one. Even though she won the women's title, it's kind of forgettable. But Melina's going to be on my list. Damn, they fucked her up.
she's so good, man. Melina's really good,
Mm-hmm. They
really
really
good.
did.
Yeah,
They gave her a fucking screaming gimmick, and I'm like, no, she shouldn't be screaming. She should be going in there kicking ass. Yeah, Tori's another one. Tori was another one from the Attitude
Tori,
Era. I remember when
Tori
she
who?
was
Not Tori
Tori.
Wilson.
No, Tori. She used to be like Kane's girlfriend, and then she went with X Pac. Like she was in DX
Okay.
for a brief time. She may not be that familiar to a lot of people, but I know who Ty's talking
No,
about.
I think Victoria was top tier.
Victoria made it. Yeah, Victoria was
Yeah,
top tier.
yeah, she was a really good her and Trish Stratus, and I give a lot of credit to Trish because she did make it herself,
Mickey
and she
or
was definitely she was at the monster heel of women wrestling at the time.
Gail Kim is
Victoria,
definitely Gail Kim is going to definitely be on my women's list,
yeah,
big
Gail
time.
Kim,
Gail Kim, they fucked up. They did not know
yeah,
what to do with her.
yeah, and what's her name?
Uh,
Emma, the
yeah,
Australian girl, Emma.
yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Apparently, Vince didn't find her hot enough. She's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
But totally never win the women's title. Yeah,
No,
I,
no. That women's title was a joke anyway. By the time I think in around 2000, I think Stephanie McMahon won it, and then I think Lita won it, and it took it a while for it to be credible again before they
now
proceeded to bury it.
now here's one from as far as I'm concerned, because I've always liked the APA. You know, I love the fucking one of my favorite tech teams of all time. And even though they changed Bradshaw's gimmick up into like a corporate bad guy,
George Bush. Yep.
yeah, yeah, all of that, J.R. Ewing, all of that, yeah. I
Hmm.
did think that his teammate Ron Simmons, who was very popular in WCW. I remember his match against Lex Luger in Halloween Havoc,
Hmm.
and unfortunately he lost that match, but it was fantastic. But he was a guy who could have been had an opportunity to be the top guy,
Hmm.
and when I say top guy, like just have a chance maybe to have a run with the belt or whatever. But he was kind of always stuck, after Nation when he came to the WWE. He was fucking Farouk and he was Nation of Domination and all of that shit.
I am going to say, though, in his defense, Ron Simmons is the only some bitch that can get away with wearing a blue helmet.
Yeah, I look at that more, more
Yep.
of the time period and stuff like that.
But Ron
And on
Simmons
top of that,
is, yeah.
but on top of that, I want to add someone up before I forget, and that is Mark Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Granted, yes,
Mark,
we know he won the world title, but still.
there's winning the world title, and then there's being top tier. And the
Hmm.
problem with WWE, whether it be Hulk Hogan, Triple H, or John
John
Cena,
Cena.
they
Yep.
just fucking have these one guy burying everybody. And you think, when are you gonna get a chance? When are these other people gonna get? You need to mix it up a little bit. But the whole business and programming is one guy wins it all, and
Hmm.
everyone has to bow down to him. You know, and and Mark Henry, like this guy is monster heel caliber. Like, why are you ruining it? That retirement speech was fucking
Greatest swerve in modern history that they've ever done.
yeah. And then but it's not surprising that WWE fuck it up every time. They fuck
Hmm.
it up, and
And if you want to
yeah.
talk about a big dude that never got his due, I got to give some love to Big Show. I really do. I have to give some love to that dude. That dude busted his ass for all these years just for fans to be like, please retire. And Big Show, I think he gets overhated. I really do.
Oh, I agree. I agree. The guy is very talented. Look, if you can have a guy who's over 7 foot tall, who's a natural actor, and very talented stuntman and all of that, you know, then and you don't use him, you are wasting your time. I do feel like when it comes to some of the big guys, I do feel like he was just there to be the monster of the week or
Hmm.
whatever. Okay, for every time a face champion has to have controversy, they'll fight him.
Yeah.
You know,
Or vice
maybe
versa. If we need you to be a baby face, you'll go up against a heel because Big Show is the king of rotating between face and heel.
I know before look, this is just a troll comment. Are you joking? No, this person. No, 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 no,
The
no, no, no,
Boogeyman,
no, no.
no, no,
No,
Boogeyman,
no, no.
Boogie
He deserves to be at the bottom of the tier.
Boogeyman
Uh,
was never going to make it anyway, man. Boogeyman, he was designed for one role only. Be creepy as hell. That was his role.
I
Yeah,
thought, but I was talking some of the bigger men here. I think maybe Kane needs to be in there. You
Kane
know,
is definitely on my list of underrated, most underrated all
like
time.
we know he's won the title and stuff like that, but after his first reign,
It
like he
was
never
over.
became he was over. Like like people like Undertaker, he could just come back and win the title, nobody batters an eyelid. You know, even The Rock after fucking years of not wrestling, he'll come back and fucking
Hmm.
main event WrestleMania as champion. You know, but Kane, like, come on, like once he finished being Undertaker's bitch, it was pretty much okay, whatever.
And I remember when Kane was relegated to jobber status in the mid to late 2000s. How the fuck do you do that? The dude's like 6'10". How the fuck do you relegate him to
Yeah.
jobbing? Like, it's fucking Kane. And then, okay, on my list, this may be number one underrated all time. Dustin Rhodes. Dustin
Uh,
Rhodes is
okay.
100%, yeah,
Gold Dust, you mean?
gold dust. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Gold dust
As Gold Dust or just Dustin Rhodes?
as gold dust. Should have done
Okay.
it. Should have done it.
Yeah,
And
that would have been hilarious.
oh, it would have been great.
It would have
The
been great.
the greatest Goldust moment I'll never forget was the one where he planted like that military style, like "I'm never coming home again" kind of kiss on Ahmed Johnson. I lost my shit as an 8-year-old seeing that. I thought it was one of the funniest damn things I ever saw. Him giving Ahmed Johnson mouth to mouth like Ahmed died, and Ahmed woke up like, did this motherfucker just plant like a military style kiss on me? And Goldust just pushed that gay homophobic button. Imagine them doing that today. They could not get away with that now.
Yeah, I agree. But I just want to quickly read Ty's comment here. I feel like John Cena kissed Triple H's asked to be a top star. It's a gut feeling because Triple H never has a problem with Cena.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know about
Vince
that.
more so than Hunter.
Yeah, like Vince just saw gold in like here he is, buzz cut, fantastic physique, very talented. Honestly, Cena's talent shouldn't be underestimated. The guy is just very good at doing many things. He really is.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely talented person. The guy he learned fucking Chinese for fuck's sake. He
Mm-hmm.
let the fucking play the piano recently. I mean, like the guy is phenomenal. He
The dude has
he's an
gone
entertainer.
Hollywood. Yeah, the dude
Yeah.
is classified as an entertainer now. John Cena, I'm not going to lie. Has John Cena played politics? Yes, but who
Yes.
hasn't played politics? Almost even the Undertaker has refused to do
The guy
jobs. And
freestyle raps, man. People forget he's such a good freestyler. Like
mm-hmm,
still to this day, he can just start rapping like nobody's business.
mm-hmm.
And now he's the fucking peacemaker.
I
For the
can't wait for
YouTube.
that to come out. Plug for Peacemaker
Yeah.
come January. I'm seeing that when it comes out on
I'm
HBO
gonna go
Max.
to my next one now, yeah. This one just
Yep.
popped in my head.
Go ahead.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Probably the great. I'm going to go on a limb in agreement, and I think you will agree. Greatest wrestler in the '80s to never win a world title.
Yeah,
Yeah, I said it.
yeah. I mean the
Uh,
guy is super once again another talented man. The motherfucker learned how to play the bagpipes. They love him in Scotland. He's not even remotely Scottish.
he's
Yeah.
Canadian. Yeah,
He's
he's
Canadian,
Canadian.
but I thought he might have had some Scottish roots. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any Scottish roots, but he wore the fucking kilts. He can play bagpipes like a fucking true Scotsman. He's a very, very good heel. He plays crazy really good now. Him and was it Bad News Brown when he
Yeah.
painted,
When he did the
you know,
blackface. Yeah.
well half blackface. It was like Hot Rod and Hot something else. I forgot what the other side was.
Yep.
You
And
know,
of course, cancel culture had to edit that out because now we don't have that match at WrestleMania
no,
6
no.
anymore.
This is the funniest thing because like let's not like we learn from our mistakes, like we learn from our history. Yeah,
Hmm.
don't take it out. Like, yeah, we look back at it and we cringe, but it's there, and we shouldn't fucking act like it wasn't there. The same way fucking WWE acts like Chris Benoit wasn't there. It was there. Like
Hmm.
don't forget. It's just stuff like that is so stupid. Like, because WWE have done so many bad things. Like with the N word and stuff like that. Fucking
That got edited out too because we have to be squeaky fucking clean.
Muhammad Hassan.
Yep.
It's like,
Speaking of,
it's so,
okay, he's on my list. Yep, Muhammad Hassan is on my list. Talk about a dude they fucked up. How the fuck do you go from having a course of booze by not even saying a word? Just your fucking entrance theme is enough to set people off. That's how good he was. His entrance theme just pissed people off. And then he would come out and be all like, fuck America, blah, 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 blah. And he got like guys like Mick Foley irate, Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, and then
they were
fucking,
irate. They don't see a fucking gimmick in
mm-hmm,
front of their face.
yep.
It's like, how stupid are they? You know what I mean? They put, yeah.
And then they were talking about putting the world title on this motherfucker. And then, no disrespect to the guy that played Muhammad Hassan, but then they had pressure from the networks, and The Undertaker gave a chokeslam or whatever the fuck. And that was the last time we saw his ass. And he'll never come
They
back.
literally that you talk about burial. They
Mm-hmm.
killed him.
Yeah, they killed
They
him.
killed him. They killed him. Like your Undertaker killed him. It's like, because they kind of realized that they created a monster.
Mm-hmm.
With this anti-Islamic shit they were doing. And they were taking advantage of all the anti-Muslim rhetoric. Post 9/11 back then. You know, luckily things have calmed down now. You know, and people don't. Not everybody thinks that anyone who's remotely Muslim is a fucking terrorist nowadays. But back then, you know, because those people were so still very hot under the collar of
Hmm.
9/11, you know, if they found out you're Muslim, they fucking blamed you for it. Um, let
Okay,
me read let's read some comments
we'll
here.
give some love to Jazz. Jazz helped Trish Stratus' career. She never got her dues and respect from WWE. Even Trish Stratus. Trish always talks about Lita helping her, but not Jazz. Although Jazz did get a shout out from Trish when she got inducted in the Hall of Fame, but still, good point. Jazz is
But
the one that never got her
you
due.
talk about you talk about black wrestlers not getting their push. It's with the women too. You know, you could have an amazing act like Jazz, but you're still not going to get the fucking push.
Hmm.
Jazz and Gail Kim never used the WWE. Yeah,
Agreed.
I
Yep.
remember Gail Kim's intro for the WWE. Really good, very techno sort of
Like Matrix like
trance.
type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they never did anything. Yeah, WWE did Jazz dirty for sure.
totally.
Yes, sir. We
Yep.
did mention Mr. Perfect earlier.
Yep.
He was definitely in our list, and the
Yep.
WWE did Jazz dirty. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's so many more wrestlers. You know, from the earlier I mentioned Rowdy Roddy Piper. I can also mention Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh,
You
Bam
know,
Bam. Yeah, who does a moonsault at 360 pounds? Maybe Vader is the only other guy. Vader's another one, but I'm going to bring him up after we talk about Bam Bam. But yeah, who the fuck does a moonsault at 360 pounds? No one else can do that.
not many, and who moves like him?
Hmm.
You know,
Who could do
he,
cartwheels at 360 pounds?
yeah, exactly. He was very agile in the ring, and him and Luna Vachon had a good thing going. Um, once again, like him and was it LT in
Yeah,
WrestleMania 11?
a lot of people like to crap on that match, and I'm like, I'm one of those that actually really found it to be a really, really
It
good
was the
match.
best match of fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like so like those mid WrestleManias, like after 10 and before 17, there was some shit WrestleManias during that period, in my opinion.
Hmm.
WWE was having to rediscover itself a little bit. That period, those post Hulk Hogan, before Attitude Era. You know, but
Yep. During the time when the company was down, but I think we would do a disservice to Vader. Talk about a dude that went from another main event situation. You main event and be world champion in WCW, only to become Shawn Michaels' bitch in WWF. I don't know, man. I don't know. For a dude to be almost like 458 pounds and be agile as he was, only to be relegated to jobbing out to Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, I don't know how the fuck you fuck Vader up. I'm not sure if Zam
um,
is lagging. Zam, you might be Xanta might be lagging there a little bit. Oh, okay, there you
uh,
are. Now
yeah.
you're working.
Sorry. I I remember famously Vader getting kicked in the head by Shawn
Mm-hmm.
Michaels. It kind of
Move,
reminded me.
asshole.
It kind of reminded me of Kofi and Randy a little bit with the stupid. But I never really understood. Was it a botch? I kind of forgot about that moment.
Sean was supposed to come off the elbow, and Leon was supposed to move, and Vader didn't fucking move, and he kicked him in the head because of it.
That's kind of brave because Vader, if he got his hands on Shawn,
Oh,
Shawn would probably.
Vader could have broke Sean's back, like
But
for
Vader
real.
is also a very nice guy
Yeah.
in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And he took it like a man. And Shawn Michaels back then was, humanitarianly, he was probably at his worst.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
he fought the world sound out of his fucking ass back then.
Mm-hmm.
This is before the back injury, before he found religion. You know, yeah, he was definitely not a good guy, literally
No.
in in all departments. So I yeah, but Vader, yeah, I remember it's Vader time and stuff like that. Would you throw Sid Justice in that mix? Sid Vicious?
Yes. Surprisingly, yes. I would. He's the only guy I think that's going to be on our list that main evented a WrestleMania and just didn't feel used completely to his potential. Because granted, he did win the WWF title a few times in late '96, early '97, but I
He
don't know
never
what it
felt
was. I
top
don't know what
tier.
it was with Sid. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Sid Justice in the WWE, Sid Vicious in WCW. Um, Psycho Sid, all of this.
Hmm.
He always seemed, he always seemed to be. I don't know. He just never came across as somebody who would be taken seriously as a main event champion.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's bad booking. I mean, the most memorable thing with Sid was he kicked out of the leg drop.
Yeah, he kicked out of Hogan's leg drop because of a miscue by Papa Shango
Oh yeah.
because
yeah, yeah.
he
Papa
forgot to run
Shango,
in.
yeah, Papa Shango ran in so late and stuff like that. What was Papa Shango supposed to do? Do you remember?
He was supposed to run in and distract Hogan, I think, and then Sid was supposed to fall victim to the leg drop, and then they were going to beat down Hogan, thus having the Warrior come in, but they completely fucked everything up. Hogan was
Okay,
supposed to win the match by pinfall, though.
okay. I'm gonna add somebody to the stream now.
All right.
This is Edwin Law, and he's gonna see what he has to say. Hello, Edwin.
Hello.
Hello, guys. Hey, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming
Oh,
on.
you're welcome, my friend.
Wow,
Merry
finally, man.
Christmas.
Finally. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah. Man, I've been wanting to talk to you guys, any wrestling fan. But I love your guys' show.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I nerd out and I try to do all these comments and yeah, so I'm just getting off work. It's okay, I'm gonna drive home. I mean, hopefully it's not too loud.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're fine, man.
Okay. Yeah, I had to do something for work, so I don't remember where you guys left off. I heard something about Jag or something.
Yeah. Jazz. Yeah. I know people are showing love to her in the comments.
Yeah, she was a good one.
Yeah, she was good. Now, if you want to mention, I'm going to mention somebody who, in my opinion, he comes in as a top tier guy just because of the name he has and the gimmick he has, but he never really became a champion, and that is. Let me find his real name. Actually, they're not giving me his real name, but it's MVP.
Oh, yeah.
MVP.
Montel Vontavious Porter.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. Like you can't come in as somebody called Montel Monverde Potter MV fucking P. You can't have that name, that gimmick, and only be challenging for the fucking US title. You have that gimmick, you have that look, you have his wrestling ability. You gotta be a fucking top tier guy. His most memorable thing was the fucking Inferno match with Kane, which is a stupid match in my opinion, but it was the most memorable. And now he's fucking Bobby Lashley's manager.
That's right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of missed some of that era of MVP, but yeah, okay. Huh.
Yeah, I wanted. It's a shame because he was a decent wrestler. I don't know what you guys thought.
Oh yeah, he could talk, he could wrestle, but I think what it was with MVP, and it's no fault of his own, was I think he had like a genetic heart defect or some such shit, and that's what kind of derailed it. Yeah, that's kind of why I think he had to retire early because he had some kind of syndrome with his heart that he had to get under control.
Do you think when people found out that MVP? Sorry, Edwin,
no,
you
I
were
was gonna
saying
say,
something?
no, like I said, I kind of missed that era, but he came back, and I liked him doing that the Hurt Big mix up. And he's a little older, right? So, but still, he can still perform, and yeah, I like him in his role now. But I don't know why they broke up the Hurt Big mix. You know what I'm saying?
I think he has a bit of a muddy past, like when people found outside of his gimmick, he's a bit like Booker T, like he's been in jail a few times and stuff like that. And I think once people found out the MVP is more than just this gimmick, the real MVP has been in jail a few times. I think they realized they couldn't put the belt on him, far as maybe WWE is concerned. But that's just my opinion on that. Another guy I'm going to mention is Matt Bloom, also known as
A-Train.
Albert A-Train Tensai.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think of him?
Very underrated. Never got his due. Should have at least been Intercontinental Champion, I think, or semi-main.
One fuck all, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he never got to the never necessarily got to the top.
Yep.
Or he didn't even have to get to the top. He never really became a proper mid carder. Like the problem, like he's not even like a mid card monster. He
Mm-mm.
should have been, you know.
Mm.
I did like the fact that he joined up with he became Sweet Tea with what was his name?
Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay, who's a fucking idiot, by the way. He's
You
a
don't like
fucking
him,
idiot,
huh?
Brodus.
Oh,
Politically,
you
I
don't like
found
it,
him
yeah?
fucking despicable. I have a relationship with him. Once I found out more about him, I think he's like he played down a rape angle once. You know, like
What?
he's yeah, very. I vaguely remember it, but yeah, I don't think but nevertheless, Matt Bloom now he's become a trainer, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
so
A quick story. I actually saw A Train in Arizona. Cause I'm from Arizona. They're
Oh,
kinda-
okay.
I think I saw him in 2004 at an indie show.
Ah,
I'm like, what the
nice.
heck? What's he doing over here in Arizona at an indie show in 2004? I'm like, quick, yeah, I like A Train. I liked him from the beginning. I even liked him when he was with Trish and Jess.
Test. Yep.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think for me
yeah.
when he went down when he started doing the warm and stuff with Sky Too High, that's when I was like, okay, you're making it. Remember that he did the warm? You remember him doing that? Yeah, that's when
I
I
think-
started saying, all right, he's going down. They don't like him.
But why the hell did they try to repackage him as fucking Lord Tensai? It was the most stupidest fucking thing.
yeah.
Ties
Yeah.
to it's WWE being like, we got to get in touch with the culture, pal. We got to get in touch with our Japanese viewers.
But the fans, he's not Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And nobody bought
like,
into it.
he's
That was the
about
funny
as
thing.
fucking- He's about as Japanese as fucking Yokozuna. Yeah. and and like as soon as he took his mask off, the fans were going Albert,
Albert, yeah.
You know, it's
Albert.
like
Yeah.
and that just ruined him. You know, and like people
Yeah.
remember. Like Vince really thinks that people have fucking short memories.
Mm.
You know,
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I remember. He never got a belt at all. Not even tag team.
I don't think he ever won one title, to my knowledge, at least in WWE anyway.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a
It-
big
it
dude.
was-
He's pretty good. Yeah, they could have used him better than that.
One dude I'm going to throw in there, speaking of TNA, I'm going to throw in Test as a mid-carder that never got his due. That dude was supposed to marry Stephanie McMahon on screen, and what do?
Yeah.
They throw him to the side, and they're like, no, dude, you're not fighting Triple H. We're going to throw Vince in there to fight on behalf of the family. I'm like, what kind of sense does that make? You're going to have Vince fight Triple H instead of Test, and Test is that dude that Vince theoretically would have loved. He was over 7 feet. He could wrestle. Maybe Test didn't have the mic skills. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I think he was a bit like
pretty
Ultimate
buff. He
Warrior.
was shredded. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, but I think he didn't have the stamina.
probably.
Yeah, but he looked like he always had breathing
Oh.
problems, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
and and so that was my thing regarding Test. But somebody who was very much a complete, like the complete package, but never got anything, and is just 24/7 champion. Is our fucking truth.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
How the hell is this guy not
yeah.
WWE champion at some point in his career?
Yeah. Man,
Yeah,
he's
Just
been
flamboyant in
around.
the ring, you know.
Yeah, and to think he and Vince are like best friends, like outside of WWE, because truth makes Vince laugh. Like that's the only reason he has a job.
Yeah,
Like-
that's what I hear. Man.
Well,
Like,
sometimes there's-
like,
there's
to
that
think-
thing, like,
To
it's like,
think,
it's like
yeah,
Go on, sorry.
to think 10 years ago, Truth was feuding with Cena over the WWE title, and they didn't even put it on him then.
Okay.
They could have did it for like 1 month.
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
have
was
hurt.
like just after
Mm,
WrestleMania, shitty feud, just to fucking fill in the fucking pay-per-views. You
Mm.
know, I do remember. But you know, regarding him being Vince's fucking buddy, sometimes you know you don't let the jester rule the fucking roost, you know, and
Yep.
I think that's how Vince
That's
looked at
funny.
him. You know,
Yeah.
and
That's funny.
unfortunately for R-Truth, like he became so much of a clown that Vince, that's how he is. You know, that's why he was 24/7 champion. You know, I hate that fucking belt. I really fucking do. You know, it made fucking
Yeah.
it made the circus of title winning. You know, you got people getting fucking pinned on a plane to Dubai for fuck's sake. You know, it's sorry to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
It's
Oh man.
so
But
now it's funny,
the thing
but
about our truth.
it,
Oh, wait.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, the thing about our truth is, I see him. He's a veteran. And it seems like he can make anything out of like they call chicken poop into chicken salad. Like whatever you give him, he can make it happen. Even though whether
Mm-hmm.
he likes it or not, I can tell he's a veteran. He can make it happen. So
Yeah,
you know.
for sure, for sure. You know, yeah. One thing you said, you're absolutely right. He can make chicken poop into chicken salad. The guy's very talented. He's a freestyle rapper himself. The guy can dance. He's got good mic
Oh yeah.
skills. He's got good wrestling skills. The guy doesn't age. You know,
Yeah.
he's probably
Yeah.
close to. He's probably in his 50s now.
Yeah.
He still looks the fucking same. You know, it's amazing, and he
Yeah, he's good.
smokes as well. I heard. You know.
Yeah. Truth has found the
All right.
Lazarus. Truth has found the Lazarus pit.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
there.
It's
Hmm.
absolutely bizarre. But you know, when it comes to sometimes in wrestling, you see certain people, they make it. You know, they're part of a tag team and they make it, but only one half makes it. You know, like the
Yes.
tag team partner doesn't. Now you have a few people here. You know, we can talk about maybe Marty Jannetty if you want. I'm not so sure. You can
Yeah,
talk about
Marty. Meh.
you can talk about Jim the
And
Anvil Neidhart. You
okay.
can talk about
Yeah.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart, but I'm not so sure either. But Christian, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
Christian is one that never got his due in WWE fully.
yeah, like
I don't think he ever did.
his title win was one and oh no, two and done. You know,
Yep.
it's just pretty. Here you go, Randy. Here you go. Take it off me. You know, and I did not like the fact they turned him heel because the fans wanted to cheer for this guy. You know, I was not a fan of his heel turn
Yeah.
because I wanted to cheer for him, and it's just these things that WWE likes to do. You know, like.
Hmm.
It's you know stuff like this really upsets me. It really does.
Yep.
You know, like you make
Well,
it. WWE has a real problem of wanting to create new stars, and then they wonder why they have a problem
That's
with
because they don't want anybody being bigger than the brand.
in the brand. Yeah. Well, what?
yeah, but
Real quick.
mm,
Real quick.
Go ahead.
yeah.
I'm not sure is it rumor or is it true. I heard Vince McMahon doesn't like Christian's face or something like
Yeah, he
that.
didn't
He
like
don't
his
ever
look. Yeah,
like
he
he
didn't like
never
his
wants him
look.
on camera or something. Yeah, something so petty. Yeah, it all goes back to what Vince McMahon likes. He's like a man child. You know,
Hmm.
if you don't like your
Yeah,
haircut,
yeah,
well,
he's
who cares?
Donald Trump on steroids for sure. But Christian cut his hair because he was told to cut his hair. You know,
Oh,
and he looked better.
okay.
He looked better with the short hair anyway. You know,
Yeah.
and I,
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, you know, you would have thought once Edge became a big star, you would have thought that he would have maybe helped his body out a little bit more. I don't know. You know,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
What could you do?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
WWE couldn't wait to
Wow.
bring fucking Edge back after he almost fucking killed himself. You know, like,
Oh, yeah. 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 That's right. Yeah.
you know, fucking 48, 49 years old, they bring Edge back to fucking go number one in the Royal Rumble for fuck's sake. You know, but
Well, yeah.
and you know they're happy to bring Christian back for nostalgic purposes, and he looks great.
Yeah.
Christian looks fucking great. You know, I love it. I love his finishing with the unprettier. That looks devastating. It still does to this day. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and like yeah, they just another guy like people like WWE has a habit. If the fans like him, then we don't.
Yep.
Yeah, it's as
Yeah.
simple as
Yeah.
that.
True. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Hey. I was on and off with my on my job. Did you guys mention about mankind yet? Or you guys
Mankind.
talk about him?
Yeah. Early Mankind is one of those that should have did some shit.
You think mankind or Mick
Yeah.
Foley in general?
Mankind.
Mankind.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He was just a mid-carder, but then obviously he had to break his body to finally prove himself that he could be champ. But Yeah.
Even when he won the belt, he won it on Raw, and it was just a
Yeah.
moment like, yeah, everyone's fucking hoisting his fat ass on their shoulders. But
Yeah.
he lost it pretty quickly too. Was it to the Undertaker?
No,
The Rock.
he lost it to The Rock the first couple times, and then he lost it to Triple H, like I think the last time he won it, and that was it.
Yeah, and then he just
Yeah.
became like like a gimmick wrestler.
Hmm
Like
Yep.
is there to fucking take the bumps and the falls and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I do feel Mick Foley. I think his intelligence has got him very far in the business. He's a very
Yes.
very clever man. With many
Yes.
strings to his bow. Like if you ever seen you ever seen the fucking Dark Side documentaries and the wrestling documentaries. Like Mick Foley's there. You see, the guy writes fucking books. I've actually seen Mick Foley do stand-up comedy. I've
Oh,
seen
really?
him do
Okay.
it. Yeah, and he came to London. He came
Oh,
to
cool.
London, and the warm-up acts were all stand-up comedians who are wrestling fans. And I swear to
Nice.
God, it was the funniest. Mick Foley was more like storytelling than being with funny anecdotes. But the stand-up comedians who were before him, who did the warm-up, they were killing us. Me and Ginger Greek, we went to watch it together, and we were dying. We were fucking dying because the jokes they hit home, and they're done by stand-up comedians, so it really fucking hit home. I can't remember any of the jokes, but yeah, it's good to see Mick Foley there as well in his fucking lumberjack outfit and shit like that. Yeah, good guy. He's massive, by the way. He's really big. He's a
Yep.
big guy, man.
It's just
And yeah,
amazing for somebody like Mick Foley to be almost 60 now, I think, and he's still around. It's amazing that he's still as smart as he is. It's amazing that he still has like all his thoughts intact and shit like that. Because with all the bumps that he's taken, by now you would think Mick Foley would be one of those to be in a
but
wheelchair.
Mick Foley though,
Yeah.
unlike many other wrestlers, didn't do drugs.
Yeah.
He was a clean
Yes.
living guy.
Yeah. He did, yeah. Yeah.
And another guy who didn't really do drugs, but was treated like shit because he was gay, is fucking Chris
Okay.
Canyon.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I still remember to this day when he came out of that fucking box.
He was buried.
Coming out
Yep.
of your closet like Boy George and do you really
Want to hurt
Want
me?
to hurt me? Yeah. That was weird.
and that's when Undertaker was the badass, and he would be he can be very emotional as the badass. He can like really fucking be violent as the badass, and he fucking destroyed Canyon that day, and there was no coming
Destroyed him.
back. Even though Canyon was
Canyon.
the innovator of offense and all of that, very very good. I mean, it's hard to say regarding his look and all of that, but nevertheless, the guy could perform. But he was gay, and the WWE didn't want to push gay wrestlers back then. Because
Yep.
they were homophobic as fuck. You saw how they treated
Yep.
fucking Chuck and Billy. Chuck Palumbo was another one, by the way.
Just to complete,
Oh, yeah,
just to
yeah.
go ahead and complete the Jersey Triad, we're going to go ahead and throw DDP's running WWF in there. That
Oh,
sucked. That sucked.
DDP,
DD
WWE.
Wow,
Fucking
yeah.
Yep.
Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Undertaker's
yeah,
wife,
yeah,
all that
terrible.
stuff, stalking, and yeah. That was
Yep. I hated it. I'm like, oh, I wish he never would have went. But
Yeah.
I get that. I get
They
that.
all
You
they
know.
all had to go because there's nowhere else to go back then.
Yep.
So it kind of made sense, But yeah, DDP, like I totally forgot. I don't even like his time in the WWE was so short.
Yeah, you don't even remember that he was there. Like that's how short it was. Like it was like, oh yeah, he used to work for Vince.
Oh, I want to throw in some more. I mentioned Chuck Palumbo. I mean, he
Mhm.
did some good gimmicks like the biker gimmick and stuff like that. But Tito Santana, like if we're gonna go way back,
Yeah.
Tito Santana,
yeah.
like there were some people who were like he was one of the early ones who just never got that brass ring. Like he was very popular. I love the fucking flying forearm and all of that, but they just would never let him run with it. They would never make him. Him and Jimmy Snooker. They would never let these guys be the fucking champion. Jimmy Snuka couldn't use the mic, so probably that's why they never made him champion. But Tito could, Olale and all of that. I remember that he was the Eddie Guerrero of his era,
Yeah.
and the fact that they never gave him the belts, in my opinion, is a shame because he would have got such a massive Latino audience
Following.
to watch him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a teacher now, which is really good to know, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so.
All right, trying to think if there's anyone else we can add before we wrap this up.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, it's been fun.
Oh, there's in my list here. I got someone like the Hurricane.
Oh yeah, Hurricane. Yep, he beat the Rock. He beat the Rock clean. That's his most famous moment.
Yeah, that's the most famous. Yeah.
You got John Morrison.
Oh yeah, Jomo's another one that should have won the world title 10 years ago when he was hot, but they completely screwed him up.
Look, if you want to go for like real technical fucking brilliance and people who are actual who are clinic masters, then you got people like Double A Arn Anderson, who's absolutely fantastic in the ring, but he never got his duels. Ravishing Rick Rude, for fuck's sake.
Ravishing Rick is another one. Yep. How the hell do you not put the world title on him? He literally is what Vince McMahon wishes he could be. That was Rick Rude, because Rick Rude had it all. He could talk. He was one of those dudes that could talk and still had a manager in Bobby Heenan. How do you do
that? Yeah.
Like, he could talk and he still had a manager, and you still don't put the world title on him. I remember Roddy Piper, SummerSlam 1990. He was on commentary. He openly cheered for Rick Rude to beat the Ultimate Warrior. And the funny thing about that was Roddy was a babyface commentator at the time. He openly cheered for Rick Rude to win the world title, but it didn't happen.
I have more. I have more. Like you mentioned the fact that Bret Hart, he went into WCW and he was a mid-carder for that company.
Yep.
Well, the same could be said, for somebody coming into WWE who's top tier for their previous company, and that person is Taz. And
yeah.
Taz came in like, he was like a mini Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He came in with a towel on his head, fucking Suplex City and all of that shit on everybody. And submission holds and all of that shit. The future looked really bright for Taz. The future was orange for Taz.
Orange.
And then, that was his color. That was
Yep.
But nothing came from it.
Nope.
He ended up. I remember. Was it Stone Cold? He got buried by Stone Cold in the promo.
Before that, it was. I knew it was over when you had Taz win the ECW title, show up to Raw and SmackDown with it, and he wrestled Triple H on SmackDown, and Triple H beat him. And I'm like, that's it. It's over. Taz is over. Yep.
You got Val Venus.
I mean,
with Val Venus, there was only so far you could go with him, though. There wasn't much more you could do with Val Venus.
They wouldn't be doing a fucking porn star gimmick now, would they?
No, not today.
But him and Stevie Richards, who you could throw in there too. They changed their gimmick when they had to. Even Papa Shango became fucking Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
And, they changed their gimmick when they had to, and even as the Godfather, he never really got his due. This is the guy who's like best friends with the fucking Undertaker,
Yep.
Yeah. So, Jesse James.
The Road Dog.
The Road Dog. This guy can fucking talk and talented on the mic, like super talented. Can pick up a mic and just start fucking monologuing, and people will just eat it up. Jesse James is definitely one of them.
Yep, but because of Triple H being like, this, Triple H, I don't think really liked them backstage either. Triple H and the Outlaws did not get along, I think, later on in DX, toward the end of their tenure there, anyway.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
What about Haku?
Haku? Yeah, Mang. Mang's another one. They totally did not know what to do with.
Yeah.
I would also
Norton.
Scott Norton. Yeah, Scott Norton's another one. Tough dude, big tough dude.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Uh,
here's some. Sorry, go on. I got some more people. I'm just going. I brought up a list here.
yeah, I've
But
got more too. I could say you could also kind of argue Rikishi. I would say he got a brief
yes,
run at the
definitely,
top, but Rikishi's on my list of people that never
definitely.
got his due. Oh
Unfortunately, sometimes you can't look past that fucking ass. You
no,
know what I mean? And yeah, I remember, yeah, the Uzos were talking about their dad and how somebody came to an autograph signing to the Uzos, and Rikishi was there too, but he was an older fan, and he begged Rikishi to give him the stink face. Yeah, and then a realization came to the Uso brothers that their dad made it to the top because of their
yep.
fucking ass.
Hmm.
And I laughed so much when they mentioned that my dad became who he was because of his ass.
Yep. Rikishi got to get in the Hall of Fame because of his ass, and that's what got him over.
And the funny thing is, at one point, he apparently had to stop doing the stink face because he was suffering from hemorrhoids.
Yep. The more you know, the more you know.
Oh god, Orlando Jordan. I mean, this guy was endorsed by fucking Jim Hellwick himself, Ultimate Warrior.
Yep. Orlando Jordan, he just never quite connected. I think he's just one of those dudes where it was like his moment of fame came when he was in JBL's like right hand stable, the cabinet, and that was about it. And then after that, I think they put the U.S. title on him, and then after that, he never really amounted to anything.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot this guy, Davey Boy Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they main evented the fucking IC title at Wembley.
Yep.
You know,
That's something you'll never see again. You'll never see the Intercontinental title be held to that high prestige again.
And yeah, exactly. And I mean, it gets passed around like a fucking, like a fucking joint. It's nowadays the IC title, but that felt like top tier, and it was just the IC title for fuck's sake. You should be wrestling for the WWE title, but after Hitman gave it to Davey Boy, Hitman was on to bigger things anyway. So
yep.
So anyway, but Jack Rougeau.
Yep, Jacques Rougeau. You could put him on that list.
Rick Martel. I loved his fucking model gimmick. It was fantastic.
Yep, it was great. And both the WWF and WCW didn't know what to do with him.
Billy Kidman.
Oh yeah.
High flyer, but more remembered for having a hot wife, hot girlfriend.
Yeah,
yep.
Flying Brian is going to be on my list. Brian Pillman.
You think so?
Oh yeah, dude. Can you imagine had the car accident not happened, and if he would have stayed after Montreal, the promos between he and Steve Austin alone would have been some of the greatest promos you would have ever heard in your entire life.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. X-Pac?
Oh yeah, the Kid. But I think the Kid couldn't leave the stuff alone. He could have been something though. He arguably did have the greatest match in Raw history against Bret Hart in '94. It was a fantastic match.
Finley. Finley is a wrestler who Finley. That is. He's a wrestler who I more recognize as a veteran, but never really saw him as a younger man.
Nope. Finley was one of those dudes that always looked old. Like even when he got to WCW, he's like Arn Anderson. He and Arn always looked old. Like they never looked young.
I'll tell you somebody who I really liked. He was like a Japanese Rey Mysterio, and that was Tajiri. Yeah.
Yep.
You think Jerry Lawler got his dues?
No. I don't think Lawler got. Well, he did have a high-profile run with the Hitman, so I guess you could say for that time he made it. But beyond that, no. Lawler was just another name. He was mostly known for his announcing. And I think I know the name that I'm going to use as we might wrap this up. The biggest name on this list and it's going to be a regretful one and one that pains me to this day. The Icon, Sting.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
In what sense? Like this for me, like in the WWE, he was hardly there to even make a
Like,
a career in the WWE.
yeah,
you
like
know?
he went there. He had like some main event matches, but it was like, okay, you bring him in only to have him lose, and like that's it. Like that's his role. That's what you're gonna do with him. You're gonna have him lose. You're not gonna build him up to get a win in WWE at all. And granted, I know he got his neck hurt by Seth, and that kind of cut it short. But I think Sting is probably one of the most misused on my list.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Edwin. I didn't know you were gone.
Hey, can you hear me?
Evening, Daniel.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry,
It's all good.
I was going for a list of wrestlers. You see, I have to admit, I'm not so sure how I feel about Sting because
Sting is going to be divided among people for
Yeah.
sure.
because for me,
Yeah.
I look at Sting as regardless of having a shit. Well, he had one match in the WWE.
2. Actually,
Oh,
3 he had 3 if you count the one with Big Show on a random Monday Night Raw.
I just don't think
Oh, okay.
that
Yeah.
warrants.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Sting by then was in his fucking late 50s.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah,
already
he's a
had
little older,
a massive career. He did not need to prove himself to anybody. He didn't need to win a title or anything. I don't know, like
It's going to be a divided one among people, but yeah, Sting is on my list of most used guys that they completely fucked up.
because
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
somebody for sure who is definitely mid-card status and was in the shadow of his tag team partner, or in this case his real life brother, is Matt Hardy.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Matt Hardy's definitely.
Yeah, Matt Hardy. Yeah.
I like Matt Hardy. Like he's got some
The
good moves
V1,
on him.
remember that?
Yep.
Or whatever, V1. Remember that? Version 1?
What
What
was
do
it?
you call it? I like that.
That's it, version 1. V1.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that was cool.
And here's the take.
Yeah.
I think Matt, technical wise, is the better Hardy. Like technically wrestling wise, he's the better Hardy. Like when it comes to mat based wrestling, he's the better Hardy. Jeff is the better high flyer, but Matt is the Hardy that you could get better matches out of. I think.
But both wrestlers can take a bump.
Mhm.
Both of them, serious fucking bumps. But they were doing backyard wrestling back then. They were self-taught wrestlers.
Yep.
Yeah, they had their own promotion. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Exactly, and I give a lot of credit to Matt Hardy to reinvent himself, which is something his brother would never fucking be able to do.
No.
Matt Hardy reinvented himself. Yeah, and that's why I think the broken gimmick was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So entertaining. Yeah.
Oh shit! You totally just triggered a name. Okay, I've got 2 of them.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee, are my 2 names.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I would say so. I would definitely say with Bray Wyatt because Bray Wyatt
he never got his due ever.
Well, he's part of the Thunder family, isn't he? And they never get their due.
No.
They pay their taxes, but they don't get their fucking due.
And then for Luke, and then in Luke Harper's case, to be a big bitch, that's like I think he was like 6'7", 6'8". I mean, granted, you never really got to hear him talk, at least in WWE anyway. But dude could work. Like I miss Luke Harper to this day. Yeah, I miss Luke.
Yeah.
I find this is sorry. Go on.
Okay. Oh, real quick. That's what I hear from Daniel Bryan. Everybody keeps saying, Luke Harper, why ain't you pushing? All from the backstage, all good. And it's a shame we never got to see it. And they all, no bad blood, nothing. He had no problem getting the back. From what I hear, and they're like, why are you not pushing Luke Harper, man? He's great. He's great.
Because Vince is one-dimensional, and he sees Luke Harper, and Luke Harper has to be a fucking redneck.
I know the real.
And he was from New York. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, he's like from New York. You have to be a redneck.
I want you to do a redneck accent. I'm from New York. It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually one of the best big men I've ever seen. Actually, the guy is he never had shit matches.
No
good matches. But sometimes there's wrestlers out there who are so talented. It makes you wonder why they're not getting further in their career. Al Snow is one of those guys. He wrote he had the shirt Job Squad.
Yep.
He had the Job Squad shirt on for a reason because he was mocking his own.
Job
He was
Squad.
mocking himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Al Snow is fantastic. What does everybody want?
Head.
You know what I mean? What does everybody need?
Head.
Head.
He's got his head gimmick and stuff like that. Can talk the talk. Can wrestle in various ways. Had more in the locker than people realized.
He would be a dude I would want to train me if I was going to be a wrestler, because Al Snow is one of the criminally underrated minds in the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about Boss Man?
Big Boss Man? Yeah, Ray. I miss Big Boss Man to this day.
Yeah.
Yep. I miss Big Boss Man.
Big. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was
talking about you. Real quick. Yeah, you said you got triggered by a name. I got triggered by a name when you said Luke Harper. I'm thinking, Dean Ambrose. Yeah, he had a run, but
Yep.
He just wasn't the right run.
Yeah, something about Dean. I don't know what it was. Something about Dean just didn't fit. Like, it was like, yeah, he won the title and he held it for a few months, but he never felt like the guy. He felt like a guy. He wasn't the guy.
Yeah.
You can tell by the way WWE pushes people. And by the way, RVD's got to be in there. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Got to be there, I wanted to say that too. Yeah, I didn't know this.
But RVD, in a way, he kind of he kind of fucked up his own career by not being able to lay off the weed.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows where his career would have been.
Yeah, got arrested. Yeah.
No. And there's
he got pulled over, right? Yeah, he got pulled over.
Yeah, he got pulled over by the cops. And there's Ricky Steamboat.
There's Ricky the Dragon.
And Avon is another one. This.
Raven.
No, he can't wrestle.
No, Brutus. I don't know if I'd put Brutus in the Misused. I would just say Brutus did what Brutus was supposed to do.
Yeah.
The disciple.
Okay, here's one. I actually like this guy, but he can be he's definitely a forgotten man. Is Luther Reigns.
Yeah.
I really like Luther Reigns. He had a good look, could wrestle, could talk.
Wow, yeah.
He just got lost in the mix,
I got another one. Mark Jindrak.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Oh man! Oh whoa! Yeah, yeah. Wow. Talk about the old pack. Yeah.
Rhino. Rhino's one of those wrestlers. Rhino's one of those wrestlers who they could have, a bit like they could have done a Kofi Kingston style where he just somehow manages to lock himself into a championship match. A bit like Mick Foley as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, I can just imagine him doing a gore, just winning the fucking title, and my God, the crowd would have popped for that.
I went to a show. It was around the time he came back, I think in like 2016, when he and Heath Slater, I think, were tag team champions, and Heath Slater's another one on this list. But both guys were extremely over, and when Rhino got the hot tag, the place popped. Like, you could tell, like, he was still over, and it was a SmackDown taping.
Okay.
And yeah, Rhino's another one of those dudes.
Actually, I mentioned this guy's name, but not in the sense of being a mid-carder, because I was mentioning him as an opponent to a mid-carder, to Rey Mysterio. But Chavo Guerrero is really fucking talented.
Oh yeah, really, Chavo never got his due.
And really talented. Yeah. Unfortunately, being in the shadow of Rey and his Uncle Eddie, I'm glad he was never Irvin White. That gimmick got dropped the moment Eddie died. That gimmick dropped and he became Chavo Guerrero again. And I love his fucking theme song. Ooh, Chavo.
Chavo.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it a lot, and I wish he got the chance to have a better career, because he can do a lot. He can do a lot. He's a good wrestler, good talker. Hardcore matches. There's not much he can't do, but because he's not a fucking muscle-bound behemoth, he doesn't get the respect he deserves. There's Steve Blackman as well.
Yeah, Steve Blackman. Yeah. Yep. The Lethal Weapon. Steve Blackman. Trying to think. Okay, is there? Is there anyone else? I've got a few names. Maybe Robert Roode. They don't know what the fuck they're doing with him. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
okay.
I liked him with him and was it, when he was Beer Money? What's his name of his tag partner?
James Storm. Yeah, James Storm.
I
Yep.
love that shit, man. That was really good.
Oh, okay, huh?
Yeah.
And then you wanted to talk about Jack Swagger.
Sorry, yeah, Jack Swagger, but
Yep.
I just want to quickly honorable mention Lance Storm.
Yeah, Lance Storm. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
For sure.
There you go.
But Jack Swagger, like for me, Jack Swagger is everything you want in a wrestler. The guy is technically fantastic. He can talk the talk. You know, I loved it when he won the world heavyweight title and how he just picked it up so calmly and just stuck it in the air. It was like, yeah, this guy's a badass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's like, yeah, I did that. I beat Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yes, and he just celebrated so calmly. I loved it. It was just such a good gimmick. And then he just got buried. Every fucking match, he got buried and buried and buried. And I'm thinking, oh, that's it. There's no coming back. There's no coming back for this guy, you know.
I think to wrap this up, I think the one that we all can agree with, Damian Sandow. That's going to be the last one on my list. Damian Sandow is the one that.
Okay.
Damian Sandow is the one that probably pisses me off the most in recent times. The one that because they had the opportunity to put the world title on him, and it was during the fall.
Yeah.
It was when no one was watching. He was Mr. Money in the Bank, and they had him cash in on Cena, and he lost, and that was it.
Okay.
And Cena had one arm. Yep.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Wow.
And the funny thing is that I think they kept trying to bury him, and all they did was make him more popular because he would just adapt to every scenario he was in and take it and try to make it work, which makes him so admirable, you know.
Yep.
So and
Dang.
I like
Zack
the fact
Ryder,
that he was he reminded me like a modern day version of the Genius.
Yep.
Which is Randy Savage's brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Papo. Yeah, Lonnie Papo.
Yep.
Yeah, it reminded me of that a lot, and I loved the Genius back then. By the way, I was a big fan of the Genius, and so
and when you also said Zack Ryder, Zack Ryder's definitely one of those that he got the shaft. He got the shaft.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting all these triggered. Yeah. We can go on and on, man. Wow.
Yeah, Zack Ryder showed that you can try to make a name for yourself. But if Vince McMahon doesn't like you,
you ain't getting over. Yep.
Yeah. And unfortunately, just to go on a tangent here, because Vince doesn't, Vince pays all his guys as independent contractors. At the same time, he doesn't like his wrestlers doing bloody Twitch TV and shit like that. Like what the fuck? He really wants his cake. He wants to control these guys.
Yep.
And have them independent contractors. So he wants to control them, but them not to make a single penny outside the WWE.
And that's why Adam Cole left. Yeah. He said, "Fuck that. I'm not. Nope."
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy makes so much money from his Twitch channel. He's never going to give that up.
And then speaking of Midcarders that are in WWE in more recent times, Kevin Owens just re-signed with WWE. Okay, good luck, dude.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did.
He just re-signed. He's like, it's easy for my family, and I'm like, yo, you got to do what you got to do to get the bag. You got to do what you got to do to get the money.
Yeah, I guess.
You can't argue with that.
Not everybody can go to Not everybody can go to AEW. I guess
Yep.
So okay.
We got anything we want to add? Because I'm thinking it might be time to wrap this up.
I guess I just want to tell everybody that I don't think we'll be back now until the new year. After the new year,
I think I'm going to be taking a break for a couple weeks with Christmas and New Year's coming up. But
this will be our last show with regarding wrestling until 2022. But don't get me wrong, here at NerdTube, we're still going to be talking about all other things. We're going to be doing a Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. No spoilers, Edwin.
Yep.
No spoilers. Please.
No.
Okay,
but
we're going to be talking about that this Sunday, and it's going to be
nice. Right.
But as well as other stuff as well, because there's always something to talk about. Obviously, the last episode of Hawkeye is coming out, and then on the 29th of December, it's the Book of Boba Fett. You know, I'm
Yes.
just referring to your Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big Star Wars fan here.
Yeah, and
Yeah, can I
I'm a
say
big
something
Star.
before yeah.
Yeah, please say something.
Oh yeah. I gotta go too. But hey, you guys, I love this channel. I'm new here. We never met before on camera. They just wanted me on. I'm just a small YouTuber guy. I mean, I got a wrestling channel. I do all by myself, and these guys were so gracious to let me on. I mean, I'm blown away. You don't get to let somebody on. I could have been a total kook, you know. But thank
Yeah,
you
we're
guys.
glad
You
to
guys,
we're glad to interact with fans, man. It's what we do. This is why we do this shit.
And we're a small
this is
channel
awesome.
ourselves, man. You know, we're nothing special. You know,
Yeah.
we want to interact. We want to be as hospitable to everybody and anybody. You know, so
Yeah, we
you're
haven't
more than welcome.
we haven't taken over the world yet, but we will one day. That's our hope.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're a jack of all
Okay.
trades. You know,
Yeah.
we're finding our niche
Yeah.
in everything we do. So yeah,
Yep.
okay then, Edwin. It was nice having you on, and
Yep.
I'll leave it to you, Jose, to take us out.
All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. We are NerdTube. Welcome to the family, Edwin. Yeah, thank you, Daniel, for the comment. We are NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel that you've never fucking heard of. We'd all like to wish you guys a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and all that stuff. Hope you guys have a great holiday season and a new year. I am Dibiase. This is Edwin Lowe. With me, as always, is Santa Claus. Thank you guys. Merry Christmas. Please like, please subscribe, please share with all your friends. Merry Christmas. And we are out. Thank you for watching. Peace.